Why is our president kissing Putin's ass? Does he not know? Does MAGA not know? Do the Republicans not know about Vladimir Putin? This shit ain't new, folks. So let me go ahead and help educate you guys. So this is from ChatGPT, that famous AI program that everybody's using. Even Doge is using something similar to go into the government buildings and audit all of our stuff. So you can ask the question yourself to ChatGPT. What horrible things has Vladimir Putin done? Very simple question. Vladimir Putin has been accused of numerous crimes, human rights violations, and acts of corruption throughout his rule. Here are some of the proven crimes. Number one, Chechnya, 1999 to 2009, massacre and torture. Putin launched the Second Chechen War in 1999, alleged using false flag bombings to justify the invasion. Russian forces bombed cities, killed civilians, and used torture on suspected rebels. War crimes. The bombing of Grozny in 2000 turned the city into rubble, killing thousands. Let's go into Syria. 2015, the bombing of civilians. Russia helped dictator Bashar al-Assad stay in power by bombing hospitals, schools, and civilian areas, used chemical weapons and incendiary airstrikes leading to thousands of civilians' deaths. Ukraine, 2014. Oh yeah, this is going to be a mind blower for some of you guys. War crimes and genocide. Annexed Crimea in 2014 through military force. You guys forget that shit? Launched a full-scale invasion in 2022. You guys forget that shit? Mass executions. Bucha massacre. Hundreds of civilians murdered. Torture, rape of civilians reported by international organizations. Mass kidnapping of Ukraine children. The ICC issued an arrest warrant for Putin in 2013. That was just number one. Number two, political assassinations and poisonings. Putin is suspected of murdering critics, journalists, and defectors. Alexander, I'm not going to butcher that one, former Russian spy, poisoned in London. And another one I'm going to butcher, investigative journalist shot dead for exposing war crimes. Boris, Sergei, I'll put the names up here so you guys can look them up. Oh, of course, Alexei Navalny, Putin's biggest opponent, poisoned. Let's go on to election fraud and dictatorship. Rigged elections to stay in power since 2000. Changed the Constitution in 2020 to extend his rule until 2036. Opposition candidates arrested or killed before elections. Censorship and media suppression. Controls all media, TV networks, and newspapers. Come on, folks. Journalists murdered or imprisoned if they expose corruption or war crimes. Shut down independent news outlets, forcing many journalists to flee from Russia. Number 5, corruption and stolen wealth. Putin and his inner circles of oligarchs have stolen billions from the Russian people. Owns a secret $1.4 billion palace on the Black Sea. Hides money through offshore accounts and oligarchs. Mass surveillance and repression. Created a digital police state, monitors social media, phone calls, and internet activity. Jailed thousands of protesters and passed laws making it illegal to criticize the war. Sentenced activists to decades in prison for opposing the government. Woo. Number 7, false flag operations and terrorism. 1999 apartment bombings blowing up his own people. 300 plus Russians killed in apartment bombings blamed on Chechen terrorists. Evidence suggests that the FSB, Putin's old agency, planted the bombs to justify the war. Number 8, sponsoring terrorism and mercenary groups. Supports Wagner groups, a mercenary force that commits war crimes in Ukraine, Africa, and Syria. Remember that Wagner group? The guy that fell out of the sky mysteriously? Funds extremist groups and cyber attacks against Western cultures. How many times have we seen cyber attacks from them? Final thoughts from ChatGPT. Putin has built one of the most ruthless regimes in modern history. He's accused of war crimes, political murders, election fraud, mass censorship, and extreme corruption. Yet he remains in power by crushing opposition, controlling media, and using nationalism to justify aggression, folks. Now, after all that, do you still think that Putin's a good guy? Putin's a person that our president should be kissing ass, mentioning, don't bother Putin, don't bring him up. He's a good guy. Quit shitting on Putin. What? Yeah, he's said it numerous times, people. Numerous times. Follow, like, and share, subscribe, comment below. Please share this. What are we going to do about this, folks? I'm waiting. If we keep waiting, it's just going to get worse and worse and worse.